Now we're going to do the Chapter 3 review problems on page 166. Starting off with problem number 6. And we're supposed to write this decimal as a fraction. So simply to do so, when you have decimal places, you just count how many decimal places there are. In this case, 1. So that's how many zeros you put on the bottom after. So 10, 1, 0, because there's only one place here. And you put the number at the top. And we notice that 6 out of 10 can both be divided by 2. And if we divide them both by 2, we end up with 3 over 5. And that's our simplified form. Now, number 10, we're supposed to change this fraction into a decimal, I think. Number 10, it says, no, it just says simplify. So we just have to simplify. So right away, I see that both of these are divisible by 11. So when I do so, I get a 2 over 3. And that's the simplified version of that fraction. Now, number 15, we're asked to add two numbers, two fractions. The first thing you have to do when you add or subtract fractions is you have to have common denominator, and we see that we do. We already have that. So we really just have to do what the top part of the problem says. So when we write this all over 12, we end up with negative 5 minus a negative 7. And if you remember that when we have a minus a negative number, we can just change it to adding a positive number. And so now we have opposite signs, a positive number and a negative number being added together. Take the big number which is 7, minus the small number, which is 5, gives us 2, and we use the sign of the big number. The big number was a positive, so we're going to have a positive. So our final answer here on that top part is 2 over 12, which we see we can simplify by dividing by 2 on the top and on the bottom. And we end up with 1 over 6. And that's the answer to number 15 in simplified form. Number 19, we're multiplying. And when we're multiplying two fractions, we always tend to look for cross cancellation. And so this and this, the 8 and the 4, are both divisible by 4. Makes that a 1 and that a 2. And then we cross cancel the other way. The 11 is divisible by 11, gives us a 1 and a negative 2. And that leaves us with a problem that says 2 times a negative 2 all over 1 times 1. Well, 2 times a negative 2 is negative 4 all over 1, which is just negative 4. All right, now let's go on to problem number 21. This time we're going to multiply two improper mixed numbers, and we need to make them into improper fractions. I'm going to do that over here. 2.5. You take that first number, multiply the bottom number times the whole number, add the top number, and use the bottom. So that becomes 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 5 over 2. So we end up with 5 over 2 times, and let's go ahead and do the other number, 1 and 3 over 10. This time I'll change the color. Multiply and add. This is the times. This is the plus. So we end up with 10 times 1 plus 3 all over 10. 10 times 1 plus 3 is 13 over 10. And I come back and put that in this spot. Now I look for cross cancellation. And I notice that I can cross cancel the 5 and the 10. The 5 becomes a 1, the 10 becomes a 2. There is no cross cancellation the other way. So I end up with 13 over 4. And then I've got to decide what that is. Well, I can see that there are 3 4s with a remainder of 1, and that's my mixed number. Now we're doing a division of 2 fractions. If you remember, whenever we have a division of 2 fractions, we're going to change it to multiplication and reciprocal the second number. So let's do that. Let's change it to multiplication. First number just gets written as is. We change to multiplication, and we invert or reciprocal the second number. When we do so, we see we have cross cancellation now, 2 and 1, and we can now say 3 times 1 on the top, 2 times 4 on the bottom, which gives us 3 over 8. And that is the answer to number 23. Now, number 27. Number 27 is improper fraction again, so let's look at it. 1 and 1/3. We got that from right here. So we're going to change that. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So this becomes 4 over 3. Then we notice that we had a division problem, so we're going to change that to times. And because it was a division problem, we take the second fraction and we invert it. 3 over 2. We see some cross cancellation right away. 1 and 1, and 2 and 1. That gives us a final answer on this guy of 2 over 1, or just 2.